Hello, hello, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, no matter where you are or what you're doing. Hello, my rosebuds. I'm KibbyRose. We are here to I got my to-do list, I got my checklist, I got my book open, I'm already doing research. I'm already ready to get some prolific sprints done, even though my mouth isn't ready to work. We're going to see how this goes today because full moon, Shark Week, and I got a story because I was stopped by a psychic today. And yeah, we're going to do a little story time before I start. So let me run the little banner thingy and we'll get going on this. Okay, so real quick, let me do a little story time. Hello, good afternoon. Hi, by the way. I don't see anybody in the comments yet, so I'm sure that you're all busy getting going, doing your things. I have a couple of checklists here to do, to-do lists to do, and I got some stuff on my book. So if you're new here, what we basically do is we do a little bit of story time at the beginning, chat time, and then I do 4 20-minute sprints where basically I give you 20 minutes to get work done. Then we all usually chit chat and come back in afterwards and chit chat and recap and go back over everything we've been working on. And that's how we run it around here. So basically we're going to see how long I can last though, because yeah, I'm in pain and I got an interesting story time to tell you because that's the second reason that I might not be able to last all, because I might not be able to concentrate. We'll see how well this goes. So basically, I moved to my new place about a month ago. And as you all know, went through a whole lot of fun getting here. And every day on my way home, I pass by a psychic. And I love her little place. Like it's always caught me out of the corner of my eye. It always, my attention's always been drawn to it, but every time I've passed it, it's never been open. Well, today, which happens to be a full moon and the start of Shark Week for me, and just happens to be exactly 1 week since I declared I'm done with dating and everything, that my boss told me to go home early because he had some stuff that he needed to do. So he's closing up the office. And on my way home, the psychic shop was open. And I passed by it and I saw it and I was like, oh, it's open. Well, I have never felt, I have felt, it's been a long time since I have felt a pull this strong, to the point that I was literally making a U-turn going, fine, I'm going. Because they were just, my angels were just like, it was hard, guys. Like it was a hard hit. And so I turned around and, it was kind of funny. I was sitting at the light and I was thinking about it. And I was just like, because here's the thing. I've tried to go to psychics before. I don't know what it is about me, whether it's because I'm so strong or whatever else, but I've actually been told on multiple occasions that they wouldn't read for me. So I kind of had this feeling that I was just like, well, I hope she can read for me. And I was like, well, if she's as strong as a psychic as I'm hoping, she probably feels that something's coming. So, because that always happens to me. I know what it's like. So anyway, so I pull up and I haven't revealed this to a lot of you because I'm pretty good at covering it, but I have been fighting a bout of depression. I got off of psych meds about 4 years ago, and my depression was hitting a point where I actually was thinking that maybe I needed to think about getting on a low dose again. And trust me, I have a huge support group, and a lot of them are just like, they're kind of with me on how much reservation I have about doing it and going back on them because I'm doing so well off of them. So I was like, well, if this doesn't work, if I can't figure out why I'm so depressed, why I feel like I'm blocked, why I feel like I'm at a stall in my life when I feel it, but at the same time, I've accomplished so much. I said, I don't know what I'm going to do from here. Maybe I do need some maybe get on something to quiet my mind. So went into the psychic, First of all, I loved it. She opened the door and I was kind of like, she's beautiful, first of all. And it hit me like a wall. I was like, oh, and because here's the thing, she has a very strong, I knew how strong she was because I felt my nervous energy come back at me. And I was just like, she's got some strong shields put up. All right, I like this woman. I like this woman. And immediately she asked me what I was looking for. And I said, a 3-card, 5-card spread. I'm just trying to figure out answers. And I didn't give her much information. And I know how psychics work because I am one. The less information they have, it's actually the better, because it's the less you can go off the energies and you don't have judgment. So she did my card spread, and basically I shuffled the cards, and my 2 questions were, am I listening to the right angels? And am I going the right direction? And if I am, why? What am I missing? Why am I stalled? Where is it that I need to fix still that is keeping me from, advancing ahead? And I did the cards. She asked me my first question, not the second. And she confirmed for me basically exactly what I already knew. She confirmed for me. And it's okay. First of all, I forget what it's like being on the other side of the seat, getting read, especially by somebody who is, and she's very good. Let's just say I'm going to be recommending her to people that I know that can't get read by normal people, or people that I struggle reading. And at the same time, though, she also was able to reveal to me what is going on. And it's basically, so I love all my friends and I love all my clients, but here's the problem. I evidently do have healing abilities. The only problem is when I heal them, I take it all. So this block, this weight I have been carrying is literally everybody I've been helping. And I kept feeling like I have this weight, I have this block, but I don't feel like it's mine and I don't know what to do about it. Well, here's the thing. I can't cleanse myself. That is one ability I don't have. And it makes sense because that is one thing I have always struggled with. I can heal and cleanse other people, but I can't heal and cleanse myself. So she started doing work on me while I was sitting there, and I could feel it. And she's been doing work on me ever since I left, and I can feel it. And I've actually marked symbols in my book because there's certain symbols that I've seen that have come up, and I don't know what they mean, and I don't know because I'm not exactly sure what she's doing, but all I know is I feel like, yeah, she's blowing the cover off of things. And truthfully, I felt like night and day just leaving her office. It, like, the amount of depression that I was in literally lifted. And I can still, the thing is I can still feel the weight, but it's up there. It's not in me, on me. I'm not harboring it anymore. It's somehow been extended and pushed up. So because she seems to be doing a lot of work on me, I have kind of been distracted by things. And focusing right now has been kind of difficult. And I'm actually looking forward to my meditation at 7 because, there's a lot I need to meditate on. But I've also been very busy at work today, and I wasn't able to get anything done on my book today. And so I'm, my natural personality is being like, you haven't accomplished anything off your checklist today. So guess what? You need to do it. So that is what's going on. So if I seem a little disconnected, there's a reason for it, because I've got 3 things going on, and it always happens in 3s for me. Always has, always will. So we've got the full moon, we've got Shark Week, and we've got Kibby decided to stop by a psychic and get cleansed. And there's evidently a lot of work being done in the background. So that's your little story time for you today. So if you don't think here, I'm not saying that if you're seeing a psychologist, I'm not saying don't go see a psychologist, but I'm saying if you're feeling like there's a weight or something like that on you and it's not your own and you don't feel like there's anything you need to sort through, seeing a psychologist might not be the call. It might actually be needing to see a psychic. And and I often wonder what caused my clients to come to me. And now I get it. Like, sometimes you just need some guidance, not prescriptions. But anyway, I'm not saying prescriptions don't help, because Lordy, did they help me for like 30 years? Oh my gosh. So I highly recommend them if you need them. Always take what your doctor wants you to, but little disclaimer, don't ever go off your medication just instantly. And I'm talking to a specific person out there, and she knows who she is. And that's all I'm going to say. So, Cora, now that my little rant story time is over. Hello, Cora. Hi, everyone. Working on schooling, and I will be muting the stream eventually because I have to make scam calls. Oh, so you probably didn't even hear my rant. But right now, looking at baby things for sale. Baby things for sale. That's right, because you got a little one on the way. You should head up Jeannie, or I call her Jeannie because she's my genie in a bottle. Jenny. You need to call up Jenny because her daughter just had a kid, and you guys might be able to link up and help swap with things, because I think you guys have kids between ages, and I think they've got them. Yeah, check out her. So since we're done with my little story time, and why am I getting the Wi-Fi signal? I should not be getting the Wi-Fi signal, which is interesting because on my computer it's 100%, but StreamYard's throwing a temper tantrum. So that's StreamYard's issue, not mine. All right, so we're gonna get the little timer set to 20 minutes. And there we go. 20 minutes on the clock. So we got, nice, thank you. Oh, you're welcome. Oh, you are listening. Okay. I figure you would have muted me during my rant. If there's any time to mute me, it'd be, during the rant. Anyway. So we got 20 minutes on the clock. I'm going to work a little bit on my book, probably look off in a daze in a minute, because I can feel her working, I swear. Anyway, so 20 minutes on the clock, and in 3, 2, 1. Sprint! And don't forget to mute yourself. See, this is when you should mute me, when I mute myself. 3, 2, 1. We are done with that sprint. So I was fairly productive, I would have to say. I got most of my notes done. I'm sure nobody was paying attention, but I was flipping all around with all my notebooks and everything. And I finished all the notes I had for my actual book. And now, because RC jumped in, which, yay, hi RC. Thank you for coming in to see me. Got to get some schooling first. Well, I hope you were able to get some schooling done during that sprint. I was able to get all of my notes done for my book because I've edited 23 chapters now. And while I edit at work, I kind of make notes. And so I have notes. Well, these are mage notes, but I basically have the same notes for my book. But RC jumped in, and now I was like, oh yeah, I have a bunch of mage notes I need to take care of because I forgot about my backstory. And I'm glad I pulled out my binder or my little notebook here, because there were sections that I have that I did not mark off that are cheat sheets and hints. So how did you all do? I hope you were as productive as me. I'm sorry if my Wi-Fi, if the signal seems off. It's got to be StreamYard because my Wi-Fi is 100% go. On my end, literally my unit, my Wi-Fi, my little indicator on my computer is showing full bore. And actually, I'm double checking my actual Fios right now, and that's full bore. So if I am glitching for you at all, it would be StreamYard's fault and not mine. So I'm sorry about that, guys, because I was getting a little Wi-Fi indicator. So Cora did some schooling now, and now you're going to get ready to make a call. I'm glad I saw that you got the number I sent you. Let me know if you end up calling that number. And let me know if it works, because I'd love to hear if you were able to mess around with them at all. And for the none of you that know, Cora actually does scam baiting calls, and they're actually quite entertaining to watch. She has a couple of characters that she plays randomly. Just a disclaimer, and she does it on her video, but I'll do it here. They're characters, people. So, like, she doesn't smoke in front of her kids, okay? Take it for what it is. She's baiting them. Don't let her bait you. She's playing a character. Anyway, but she is hilarious. She gets them good. And you guys, she's saving a lot of people from getting scammed and a lot of people money, because the more time they spend on the phone with her, the less time they're actually scamming people. So, and we appreciate all of that and all the good karma. All the good karma just keeps coming to her. I mean, so much so that you got a gift that you weren't expecting. Just saying. Anyway, so I wonder if RC was able to get anything done. Well, you know what? I'm going to tell a little bit about where I am in my book right now, because I got to get my headset in it, because it's sitting here in front of me. And truthfully, since we don't have the mage game tomorrow, I'm going to do work on the mage game tomorrow. And that's my excuse, because my book's calling to me. But right now, 2 of my characters are lost in what I call the Hall of Doors. It's an endless hall of doors. And it's quite entertaining what it does to you within the room. And then I have another character, that is kind of one of the characters that is not going to reveal themselves until probably the 2nd or 3rd book. You get little hints about him, but you don't really understand the full story. See, that's kind of the thing about my book. I've got a couple of characters where you don't quite understand what is going on, who they are, or what the whole schmeal is, because the truth is I'm kind of taking you along with me in my dream. And this is how it happened for me in my dream. Like, all this stuff started happening, and I had no clue who these people were, what they were doing. However, I seemed to know. Like, I knew that, like, I didn't know them, but somehow I did. And it was really weird. And so that's kind of what I'm doing with my book too, is you are literally coming along with me as I like along the dream journey, but as I'm explaining it to you. So this character that doesn't reveal himself until later this is the first time that I get to describe like the town that is next to the penitentiary. And he is basically checking in on the town because he hasn't been there in a minute. And he's describing the things that have changed and people's demeanors. And I'm enthralled in it because I'm literally like, when I talk about the town, there's a part of me that literally is like standing on Main Street looking at all the shops. It's just, and I see the mountain. I see it like it's more like a memory than a dream, which is so weird to me, but it is what it is. I even have, let me see if I can take this off my wall, because this is another thing that I found now that I was able to unpack my life. So these dreams were so vivid that I've been able to draw pictures and maps of them. And this is kind of the town and the forest and the penitentiary, and then these are the farms, and this is kind of, I mean, this is a small job, you know, definitely scaled down version of the detail that's in my mind, but you get an idea that, you know, it's very much like I'm remembering a place I grew up in and not a dream. And then like this one is another one. It's a city that comes later. But this is kind of like, and you can kind of see where the penitentiary is back here. And the sand dunes and the mountains, which are very, very significant. But anyway, as you can see, it's more of a memory than a dream. And I even have the penitentiary, like I have a map of the penitentiary laid out because I can see it. And I figured out I needed a map of the penitentiary because when I'm in a part where I'm remembering me in the dream going through it, I can tell you exactly where a room is from where I'm standing. However, when I'm writing a scene that is two other characters, for some reason, I can't get my bearings. So I had to draw it out and do it that way. So literally, that's why it ended up being drawn. The penitentiary ended up being drawn out because I needed a roadmap when I was writing for other characters for some reason. It's very weird. And that's why I'm very curious about how this book is going to turn out inevitably, because it's quite a trip. It is quite and I haven't even gotten to the good stuff in it yet. You know, I'm still dealing. We're like where I am in my book. Yes, I'm almost 30 chapters in, but where I am in my dreams is like, we haven't even chipped anything off of the front end of it yet. And but it looks like so much and it seems like so much, but it's not. So they were closed when I got a chance to get to them. About to find out if they shut down, you know, and I wouldn't be surprised if they did, because it was so clear that was a scam call. Because I was just like, really, you're warning me that a purchase isn't going to go through on my Amazon account. Well, I'm pretty sure it's not going to go through because I don't have $14,000 in my bank account. Well, in that bank account anyway. And number two, Amazon, alerts you to certain, you know, they actually will alert your email and your cart and everything. If you're like, you get a little flaggy on your Amazon account if you try to make a purchase that's fairly big. I should know, this happened to me when I was moving and I had to make a couple big purchases, because I was rebuilding my life, and it was just cheaper to do it and easier to do it through Amazon and build it because I'm pretty handy with a screwdriver. So, but I'm not surprised if they got shut down because it was so clear to me when I read the message that it was a scam. That I mean, they're not being slick anymore. They're really not. Finally called it and they spoofed the number. Of course they did because that's the technology these days. You know, they're always one step ahead. That's one thing I learned on the street. These guys, if people on the street are able to hack iPhones, I literally said it to him too. I said, do you realize how much money you could be making if you showed Apple that you could do that and taught them how you did that? Like, do you know how much money they would hand you? And he was like, no, they wouldn't do that. And I was like, bro, yeah, they would. But he was so intelligent. These people were so intelligent that he literally he could hack an iPhone like no problem. It was impressive. It was extremely impressive. And he did not give himself the credit for how smart he was. But then I was also just like, wait a second. You're that smart and you live on the street. Yeah, they're not kidding when they say that some criminals are very intelligent. It's always smart to check your cart too and your orders. That's actually because here's the thing. I always double check. You can actually go back on my last video and see it happen. I actually go into my Amazon and double check my orders because if that did happen, the order would be pending and I'd be able to go in and dispute it. So it's like, it's very clear, especially with the way that it was worded, because they're like, to approve the purchase, press 1. And I was like, to approve the purchase. Because, yeah, Amazon's going to call me from a number in Indiana to have me press 1 to approve a $14,000 purchase. So, like I said, they're not slick anymore. They're not being slick anymore. Anyway, I think we're going to do one more sprint. One more sprint because, yeah, I'm feeling the pain. We'll see what happens. I might jump off here and go take my meds real quick. We'll see what happens. But we got 20 minutes on the clock. Cora's going to get a little bit more schooling done. If RC is listening, I know that he's probably going to be working on his book. And to the rest of you, pull out that to-do list, get one more thing checked off that to-do list in this next 20 minutes. You got 20 minutes, one thing in 20 minutes. You'll feel accomplished. The ones I hate are the emails that come through that say your account has been suspended and they want you to click the link. I go straight to the site and say, yep, same. And that one I know gets a lot of elderly people, or it used to. I think a lot of us younger generation kind of got on our parents about that. We're like, I know I did. Like I was as soon as those scams started getting popular, I was so quick to call my mom and be like, okay. My mom was like, I already know, honey. And I should have known because she's my mom and she's highly intelligent. And my grandfather already knew. And if my mom didn't know, my grandfather would have known. And that's just the family I come from. So, but I always call, yeah. That one worked for a while with the older generation. It's either they're not getting slick anymore or they're running out of ways. And if they're running out of ways, hallelujah. Anyway, now I know people will never run out of ways to scam people, unfortunately, because unfortunately, that is a lesson in human nature that needs to be overcome by everybody. And until all of humanity has overcome that lesson, it will be there. So anyway, 20 minutes on the clock in 3, 2, 1. Sprint! And don't forget to mute yourself, as I just almost forgot to mute myself. 3, 2, 1. And we are done. So we're done with that sprint. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, 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 and welcome back. How'd we all do? I did well, actually. I had a little snacky snack. I was able to take my meds, and I got some more work done. However, I did get stuck on... I found that I might have... So I thought I came up with a new name for a place when I was re-editing my book. And then I was looking through my notes here, and I was like, oh, well, look at that. Hobblestone is already named for something else. I need to change that. So now I'm trying to figure out where the heck I put this one time that I said this one word in this massive 23 chapters. Well, I know it's in the last like 2 chapters that I just did, but yeah, the last 2 chapters are huge. Anyway, how did the rest of y'all do? Did Cora get some more phone calls done or some schooling done? And if RC, if you're still listening, how did you do? I was also able to figure, I added more notes to my book. It's kind of interesting that I had a clearer idea of the details of things when I was writing out my notes than in the actual book. Because I'm having to go and be like, no, that's wrong. That's not what that, like, yeah, it's very interesting to me how things are. And it's all because when I remember it in the situation, how do I explain this? When I'm looking at it at a different angle, it all comes back to me. I don't know. It's just weird. Like, I thought I had to rename the farmers, and I didn't, because I ended up adding 2 more farmers because it didn't make sense to only have 2 farmers. Anyway, so long story short, there's some stuff I have to change in the chapters that I already did, because now that I look at my book notes, I'm like, oh yeah, because that happens later, and that's why. And that's why I have book notes. Anyway, so that was that. But I'm still super stoked. I still can't find the word hobblestone. It's going to take me a minute. And focusing is still kind of difficult at the moment because of prior 3 issues that were already mentioned. And since nobody else is here and nobody else wants to talk, or is it just one of those things? Because I just got the little stupid Wi-Fi signal again. So again, I apologize. My Wi-Fi shows it's fine. I have no idea why it's showing. Yeah, my Wi-Fi is fine, so I don't know. Oh, hello, Sako. Hello to Sako. I can't believe you're listening. I thought you were traveling today, so I'm glad that if you are, I'm glad I'm able to entertain you for a little while. At least it's, somewhat interesting if you haven't heard the first part. And I have to go get a cleansing done because evidently I can't cleanse myself. So I don't know if you missed that part, if you heard it, but that's kind of what I'm dealing with. But I'm looking at my notes again, and I'm like, I'm trying to remember how I wanted to do this. Traveling tomorrow. That's what it is. Ugh. Well, I hope that you're sitting on your bum resting, and I hope that you were fed well by your mamas, and I hope that you're having a good night. Is that all? That's all I say. Anyway, I have been fairly productive. I am going to work on my mage stuff tomorrow and get that to you. And since I'm sitting here just itching to go back to work on my book because I didn't get much done on the last sprint, I think we're going to go off on our last sprint. And then I'm going to talk about the symbols that I looked up that I keep seeing, or I saw when work was being done. So we'll see what happens. All right. So I have to reset the timer. It is one of those days. I don't know about the rest of you, but where it is for me right now, it has been that kind of like gloomy, hazy type of weather. And I know Sako's probably not experiencing that because she's in Florida. Because I'm used to the type of weather that Sako's probably experiencing because I was born and raised in California. And this is reminding me of the onshore flow that we always got in the morning. And it was always this kind of like this bright, but dark and just clouds. And I have been so tired because of it, because there's a part of me that's just like, no, it's still morning. Look, it's just the onshore flow. It's going to burn off in a couple hours. It hasn't burned off yet. It's 5:00. I don't think it's going to. So, yeah, that's another reason. And I'm blaming Shark Week. And I have a lot of excuses. We got to stop with the excuses today. Hold up. I didn't even do this. Better. I'm like, and my lips are dry because I'm sitting here talking. Had to do I was sitting here working my butt off on all the stuff that I needed to compile in order to get work done today on my personal work that I forgot the lip gloss. Anyway, so let's jump into this sprint. I'm going to try to get a little bit of work done. And then the last little chit chat before I close out is going to be the symbols that I saw, that I envisioned, that showed up, because I think they're interesting. I think it's very interesting and I want to share it. All right. So 20 minutes on the clock. Oh yeah. I can see it. You guys can't. Yeah. 20 minutes on the clock, and 3, 2, 1, sprint. Doo-doo-doo. So that's the end of that sprint. And oh, I didn't say it, but remember to stretch. Oh, because I forgot to stretch, and wow, my back just kind of popped and everything else there. So, how did we all do? Did Corey get through to another bite? Did we get schoolwork done? Sako is hanging out with the parents. Has been awesome. Yes. I'm hoping it was, because, a vacation to, how could you not have a good time in Florida? Truthfully. Honestly. If I didn't have to work a full-time job, I so would have tagged along. No, I'm kidding. I probably wouldn't have, because it's your family, but I might have had an excuse to go get a hotel and hitch a ride. None. I have. Anyway, so I just realized this is something that I'm kind of glad I'm playing the mage game, because this is something that I didn't even think of doing. But now that I've been playing the mage game, these kind of details have been things that I've been picking up on. And I have my character, one of my characters, checking out at the register at a grocery store. However, I realized that the number of items that they checked out with is not the same number of items that I listed above that they grabbed. And not only that, but I'm pretty sure these come up later. My head's flashing to a situation where he's starving and he's stuck somewhere. And I totally forgot that he had nuts and beef jerky with him. So he doesn't have to be starving. Instead of having to come up with a way for him to eat, because I was struggling there, because he was going to be stuck there for a minute. Now I'm like, oh yeah. So, hey, and then Ward, hello. All my old peeps are coming back. Yes, my dear, I am back to my streaming schedule. I am going to be streaming. I started streaming again Wednesdays and Fridays, and boop, the like and leaving up the stream for the view time. Nice. Thank you, honey. I appreciate it. Oh, I appreciate it, because I'm trying to get back onto my views. Had to take a year off and dropped a little bit on that. But I have also deleted my other social medias, or privated them. TikTok I deleted completely. The other social medias I'm still on, but they've been privated. So you're going to have to send me a friend's request if you want to be my friend. And yeah, unless I know you, truthfully, good luck with that. Anyway, find me on a stream, send me a message, chit chat, let me get to know you first, then send me a message. It works better. Anyway, so MM Ward, thank you so much for coming back in. It's been a while, I know, and I appreciate you liking the button and doing all that wonderful, wonderful stuff. So I wish I could say, what is it? I wish I could stay, but I have to retrieve the child. Retrieve the child. Run and retrieve. There's something that was said on Dance Moms by Kathy, that from the Candy Apples Dance Center. I don't even know if they're still open. I should look that up. But she said something that I loved, and I'm going to repeat it. And I'm going to repeat it simply because I don't have kids, so nobody can accuse me of it. But kennel for kids. Not daycare, not ESS, but kennel for kids. Just think about it. Just think about it. Anyway, thank you. And I'm hoping to be blessed. If you didn't see the beginning of my stream, but I actually went to a psychic today. I got a calling as I passed by, and it was one of the strongest I'd have in a long time. And I actually feel so much better since I went and saw her. It's like night and day. I even called my mom, because okay, so I don't know if anybody else does this, but this is something I'm going to bring up. I have a bad habit of, when I start getting depressed and sad and I start going down, I don't like to trauma dump on people. I know what it feels like to take people's trauma and to take it from people, and I don't like putting it on other people. So I tend to hide away. And unfortunately, the first person, and I'm working on this, I really am. The first person I hide on is my mom, because she's done so much for me and she cares so much for me that the last thing I want to do is, and it's not that I mean to trauma dump. It's just, I know that because I'm such an intense person and it takes a lot for me to get that to that point, that if I'm at that point, the last thing I want to do is put it on my mom. And she kind of gets mad at me because she's like, that's when you're supposed to call me. And I'm like, I know, but then I feel guilty because then I feel like I'm trauma dumping on you. And this right now, it's really hard. This depression is hard because I'm starting to understand why I'm depressed, but I couldn't figure out why I was depressed. And there's a part of me that honestly felt guilty because I was depressed, because I have been handed such amazing gifts. Like, I was given a second chance at life, number one. Number two, I've been able to recoup everything I've lost. And I feel so blessed that I couldn't figure out why I was depressed, because it really didn't have anything to be depressed about. And so it was an evil circle of Kibby making herself depressed because she felt depressed, because she felt guilty for being depressed, because she's had such blessings in the last year that there's no right for me to be depressed, but for some reason I was depressed. And that's the complications of Kibby's mind. But anyway, I appreciate you leaving it up. Oh, that is a lovely hair. And no, you don't, you go in the trash can. I cannot stand, I have hair, but I cannot stand hair between my toes or on my floor. Like, you will, like, if I see a hair, you will see me like literally walk over to the trash can and throw it away. I cannot stand it. Drives me crazy. So probably another reason why I keep my house so impeccably clean. It's disgusting. Anyway, so I'm going to end the stream here because I'm tired. It's been a long day. It's Friday. You all, depending on your age and who you are, go out, have fun, party for me, get drunk, have drinks. I am going to curl up on the couch and let Shark Week eat me alive. And yeah, hopefully get that and meditate. And wow, that just hit me hard. Like, no, you're supposed to meditate. Yes, I will meditate. Like, but anyway, so you all have a good night. And thank you so much for joining me. And remember, hit that like and subscribe button if you want to see more of me. I do this every Wednesdays and Fridays at 4 p.m., 4 to 6, depending on my moodish. I'm going to try to start doing psychic stuff again and start picking that up too, doing pop-ups of those. Obviously, you guys just heard why maybe I haven't been doing them that yet. That is why. So hopefully I can get this block released and I can start getting back into that too. So you all have a wonderful Friday night, and I'll see you next time.